Right now at 5, we've got intense video of a Cherryvale house fire.
And we've got another nice day out there. Windy conditions returning, but temperatures continuing to slowly climb. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, we're taking a look at volunteers in Carthage that are working to preserve their city's historic beauty.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
Yes, it is. I'm Chris Warner. It is Friday.
Friday, as we like to say.
Yes, we've said that a lot. We say a lot. We're wearing. Is mine not right? No, you're.
No, it's supposed to look like mine. Just twisted.
Okay, I was just worried that.
He wants to make sure our pins for Wear Red Day are perfect.
Yes, it's Women's Health Month and Heart Health Month. Very important things to be checking in on. And I forgot to tell you the day. It's the 6th, by the way. Anybody did not know what day it was, because believe me, I get it. I've been there several times where it's hard to know what day of the week it is on occasion. Everything blends together, but happy Friday.
Happy Friday. That's the most important part of it being a day, is it's Friday.
This is the easiest weather that I've had in some time, and that means it's good news for you folks at home. It's good news for everybody, and all you really need to know is it will be sunny, breezy, and warm. That sums up everything you need, but you probably want a little more detail, a little more specifics than that, but that sums it up pretty well. We will start with our look from downtown Pittsburgh, and we have clear skies this morning. We thought there would be some lingering clouds from yesterday, but as it turns out, that is not the case. We were already clear out there, doing pretty good. Before it went away, did you see that temperature down there, 41 degrees? Yeah, we're about 15 degrees warmer now than we were 24 hours ago. Westco camera, 7th and range line looking good. 69 just north of Baxter Springs, KDOT camera there, also looking all right. And our last stop, the MoDOT camera, 20th and range line in Joplin, looking good as well. All right, let's take a look at these temperatures. We've got upper 30s and low 40s in some cases. Fort Scott, Cassville, both at 42 this morning. Our cooler spots are out here. We've got 30 in Parsons, 31 in Neodesha, but all in all, really not a bad start to the day. All of these temperatures above normal, and again, warmer than where we were yesterday. It won't take long before these winds are going to shift out of the north by about the next 2 or 3 hours, and they'll start ramping up just like they did yesterday. They'll be gusting to 25. It's just like yesterday's wind. It's just this time it's from the north instead of the southwest, and as you can see, maybe a cloud or two north of Stockton. That's really about it. An absolutely fantastic day. Kids out the door this morning, upper 30s, upper 50s by lunch and recess, hanging on to that as they head home later today. So, of course, with highs going into the upper 50s for most of us, that means down south some low 60s, not out of the question. We'll go mid 40s by 9, hanging on to the upper 50s into the afternoon, low 50s by 6, and that north wind again gusting to 25. The warm weather will continue for a while, and we've got some rain chances next week. Then it does get a little cooler. We'll take a look at all that in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A group of Carthage volunteers are working to preserve their city's historic beauty. In this week's Doing Good segment, KOAM's Ty Parks introduces us to a nonprofit that's making their community shine for residents and tourists alike.
For this week on Doing Good, we're looking at a nonprofit that seeks to brighten the city of Carthage.
Really, I think it's very unique in the sense that it has such a large historic home district. I mean, when people think of Carthage, I know for me personally, I think of those beautiful old homes on Grand Street.
Vision Carthage offers programs to help residents improve their homes.
So we have a very local focus, but we really do anything we can to make Carthage better, whether that involves flowers on the square.
With work days planned throughout the year where people can volunteer and plant flowers.
We're very involved with our local garden clubs and working with volunteers to beautify different spaces in the Carthage community. Public art, we have the beautiful new maple leaf sculpture that is there in the roundabout.
All of this to keep Carthage a shining city on the hill.
It's not just a surface level making things pretty. It's much deeper than that. It affects tourism. You know, Carthage is on historic Route 66. We have that anniversary year coming up, and people from all over the world come through Carthage, and we want it to be beautiful and special for them, something that they remember, that they want to stop and stay and shop and eat and play.
For Doing Good in Carthage, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Vision Carthage offers classes that people can attend to take advantage of their home restoration programs. Well, a fully involved house fire broke out in Cherryville, Kansas Wednesday night. Independence Fire assisted local crews with an engine and 3 personnel. There were no injuries, and the Kansas State Fire Marshal's office is assisting with the investigation. Crawford County may soon hit the brakes on public transportation. The Southeast Kansas Community Action Program needs $144,000 by February 13th, or bus services will stop. The program provides rides to doctor's appointments and essential services for people who cannot drive. 70% of funding comes from state and federal sources, but the remaining 30% relies on donations that are running out.
The matching funds that we received have gotten us this far. And without additional matching funds to cover the gap to get to June 30th, we'll have to suspend services.
Some riders are working on backup plans. The buses serve more than transportation needs. They bring economic activity to local communities. Chief Executive Director Jamie Whitney says the service generates local revenue while providing maintenance jobs. Well, Connect to Culture visited with several state representatives in Jefferson City to advocate for the Missouri Arts funding. The Missouri Arts Council is funded through a specific withholding tax called Missouri Non-Resident Athletes and Entertainers Tax. This is a 2% tax withholding for outside performers.
We were advocating for more than a dozen area organizations in Joplin, in Neosho, in Carthage, in Carl Junction that they also receive funding from the Missouri Arts Council, so they would also feel that huge impact of just the loss of that funding.
The Missouri Arts Council was appropriated $10.1 million this year. The governor is requesting to cut that down by 40%. Connect to Culture says that would be detrimental for all arts in Missouri. Super Bowl Sunday typically sees a rise in DUI arrests, with drivers getting behind the wheel after drinking too much. KOAM's Kenny Foreman spoke with a couple of local law enforcement officers to find out what they'll be monitoring and what drivers should keep in mind.
Chiefs might not be participating this year, but that's likely not going to deter many folks from throughout the 4 states from enjoying their Super Bowl parties and perhaps having a few drinks. This, of course, is prompting many local law enforcement departments to be on high alert for potential drunk drivers.
We're always out patrolling, always looking for impaired drivers, so we're watching for minor traffic violations to kind of give us clues if they're impaired, and we make our traffic stops from that and kind of go and judge impairment after that.
The common consensus here: know who's taking you home, or simply don't drink if you know you're going to be driving.
You have a game plan. You can either have a designated driver, call an Uber or a taxi, but before you go, have a game plan. If you feel like you're too inebriated to drive, you more than likely are.
Assistant Chief Stever also encourages pedestrians to be on high alert as well.
Just use the sidewalks. I would say, don't walk out in the middle of the roadway if you can. If you're a pedestrian, use your designated sidewalks. You're always safer using a sidewalk versus walking out on the street.
As Patrol Lieutenant Miller sums up, it only takes one poor decision to lead to tragic repercussions.
The consequences obviously are jail time, paying fines, losing your license, but on the severe end, like, you could take somebody's life. An innocent person could lose their life from a decision that you make while you're drinking. So we also want to avoid any of those consequences.
Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
In the state of Missouri, first-time DUI offenses can typically carry fines between $5,000 and $10,000 and possible jail time. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up next, the latest news from the White House. And mid-temps continue into the weekend. Chris has a look at your forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent faces another day of questioning as Congress puts affordability in the spotlight. Senators grilled Bessent on rising grocery, electricity, and health care prices, debating whether the affordability crisis is real or a hoax, as President Trump claimed. Inflation for food and shelter remains high despite lower core inflation. The hearing grew contentious, touching on tariffs, competition with Canada, and even the recent shootings in Minnesota. Arkansas State Senator Brian King of Green Forest brought a legislative committee meeting to Berryville yesterday to focus on keeping local rivers and streams healthy. Representing Arkansas's crown jewel waterways, King is pushing for a $25 million study to investigate gravel buildup, erosion, population growth, and development impacts along the rivers.
I hope that we can positively work together from diverse groups to try to be above board and transparent and try to work for different projects and take challenges that maybe one group has and problems and issues and see if we can't work on solutions and work together on it for better rivers and streams.
Learning from Illinois' river pollution fight, King aims for cooperation and solutions to keep Arkansas's rivers clean and thriving. President Trump is defending his administration amid criticisms of tactics around immigration and voting. Erica Brown has more details from Washington, D.C.
President Trump told guests at Thursday's National Prayer Breakfast he is not going to fire Kristi Noem. The Homeland Security Secretary has been under fire since the shooting deaths of Minneapolis residents Alex Preddy and Renee Good.
Why would I do that? We have the strongest border in the history of our country.
But Democrats say they will not fund DHS until the Trump administration agrees to reform its immigration enforcement tactics.
Not one more penny for ICE until we get some restraints in place.
Reflecting on Minneapolis, the president told NBC News his administration could use a softer touch, but said they still have to be tough.
I'm not happy with what happened there. Nobody could be happy, and ICE wasn't happy either. But I'm going to always be with our great people of law enforcement.
President Trump is also standing by his Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. The president has said he sent her to Georgia to look into election interference. Now he says it was Attorney General Pam Bondi who wanted her there.
They say, why is she doing it? Right, Pam? Why is she doing it? Because Pam wanted her to do it. And you know why? Because she's smart.
Gabbard was on hand as the FBI raided the Fulton County Election Center, seizing voting records related to the 2020 election.
What the heck's going on here? She is foreign intelligence, not domestic. Criminal investigations.
Trump, who insists he won the 2020 election despite losing court battles asserting that claim, now says Russia or China may have interfered.
CBS News has learned President Trump plans to unveil his Trump RX platform. It's a website where people can order prescription medications directly from manufacturers. Well, still to come, we've got rom-coms, horror, and puppies in today's Eye on Entertainment. Plus, mid-temps continue into the weekend. Chris has a look at your Friday forecast. The Puppy Bowl returns to television on Super Bowl Sunday, and two of music's biggest acts come together in a new romantic comedy. Bradley Blackburn has your Eye on Entertainment report.
Kelly Rowland and Method Man are lighting up screens ahead of Valentine's Day in the new rom-com Relationship Goals.
What do you say we take the night off from being mortal enemies?
One condition, we go back to hating each other tomorrow.
The stars play former Flames and television news producers competing for the same job. As they delve into the same best-selling self-help book, they begin to discover the true meaning of love.
As I was growing up, I watched my mom figure out love, getting it right, getting it wrong, and all of it. When you make the mistake, you learn from the mistakes.
Relationship Goals is streaming now on Prime Video.
In 3, 2, 1.
Team Fluff and Team Rough are going head-to-head ahead of Super Bowl 60 in Puppy Bowl 22. This year's showdown features 150 adoptable dogs from 72 shelters across the U.S., Puerto Rico, and the British Virgin Islands, including a number of senior and special needs pups.
We thought, let's pull in as many as we can. Let's bring in the seniors as well. At halftime, we have a senior exhibition game of senior adoptable dogs to showcase as many different dogs as we can.
The 3-hour Puppy Bowl special airs this Sunday on Animal Planet, as well as several other networks and platforms.
You're the new girl?
And a misfit group of high school students discover a cursed Aztec object in the new horror movie Whistle, setting off a terrifying chain of events. Sophie Nélisse stars in the film as Ellie, one of the teens affected by the whistle's deadly consequences.
She meets Chris. It's really beautiful to see them kind of coming together and bringing out the best in each other.
Whistle hits theaters nationwide Friday. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
The Puppy Bowl is typically the only game I watch on Super Bowl Sunday. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Again, we've got a pretty nice day lined up for us out there. It'll be breezy again, but temperature's a little warmer. We're going to break down the details for you, talk about how warm it's going to get, and about next week's rain chances when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now is 5:20. We'll be right back.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:22. I wanted to show you this. This is something that we haven't brought out lately, but this is the monthly daylight change. And between now and next month, we're going to gain some daylight. You can see we're gaining anywhere from 50 to 60 minutes. This is through the month itself, not obviously in a single day. That'd be kind of peculiar. And by next month, we'll still be gaining about 70 minutes of daylight because we're going to start to transition into spring, into summer, and it means we'll have those longer evenings out there where the kids can play a little longer as temperatures warm up. And even by April, you can see we don't gain as much. We start leveling out here, but still, it's going to be nice to get a little extra daylight. Now, for us morning folks, you know, it is convenient that it gets dark early in the winter because it makes it a lot easier for us to go to sleep early because it's dark early. But at the same time, kids need to play, and the other folks don't have to go to bed so early. So you'll be able to enjoy before too much longer, and we'll have plentiful sunshine for us today. The future track, just those gusty north winds. It's really all we're going to have to contend with for today. As we go through the evening and overnight, those winds ease up. We're going to start to go partly cloudy after midnight, and we'll have a northeast breeze at about 5 to 10 that will eventually shift out of the south as we head later into the day on our Saturday. We're going to hang on to some partly cloudy skies. It's looking pretty good. Could go mostly cloudy briefly as some of that pushes on through, but you'll clear back out on the other side. Sunday, though, that's when we'll start to see clouds increasing across the area, and they're looking to increase maybe a little earlier in the day than what we talked about yesterday. We were looking maybe later in the afternoon, late evening, but it looks like we'll start to see some clouds a little earlier. Those clouds could clear out briefly before more show up Sunday night, and that's going to start setting the stage for some of the rain. The reason some of the biggest changes to our forecast so far have been cloud cover, and the reason for that is the system bringing us the rain next week looks to be about a day behind from what it was looking, yesterday. It's now looking at getting here better chances starting Tuesday instead of Monday. So it just kind of moves everything along with it because that system's going to be impacting the cloud cover and everything else. As for today, no clouds expected, maybe one or two. We'll be near 40 by 8. Look at that, 55 by 11 a.m. Eventually heading into the upper 50s, some low 60s, not out of the question. Clear skies. And those north winds, though, just like yesterday, except this time it's out of the north instead of the southwest at 5 to 15, gusting to 25. As we head into the evening, again, we'll stay clear through the evening, still back down to the low 40s by 10 o'clock, and then we'll drop right around 30 because we do have those clear skies initially, so we'll lose some of that heating. We're only going partly cloudy, so that's why we'll get a little colder tonight. Still above normal, though. Northeast winds at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Then we go beyond that. We'll go into the upper 50s tomorrow, mid 60s on Sunday. Yeah, that's not a typo. We're talking upper 60s, low 70s for Monday because, again, that system is being delayed by a day, at least on the new data this morning. So instead of getting here Monday, it's slightly better chances rolling in Tuesday. Now, the rain chances, unfortunately, at this point haven't changed. I know we still need some rain, but it's now just a day late. It keeps us still above average through at least Thursday of next week, and the temperatures will begin to fall back a bit as we get closer to Valentine's Day. Thankfully, no Arctic chill for Valentine's Day, just seasonable temperatures. Not bad next Sunday either. Again, the longer range data is still continuing to hint at a pretty potent system in the next week or two, really the next couple of weeks, getting closer to the second half of this month. It's still very far out. It's way too early to determine exactly what it's going to do, but we're getting those signals for a more potent system in a couple of weeks. So, of course, as we get closer, we'll keep you updated on what we're seeing out there. In the meantime, though, take advantage of this very, very spring-like weather. That is a check of your forecast. Now we're sending it to Samantha with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Southeast Kansas Mental Health Center and Neosho Memorial Regional Medical Center are exploring ways to preserve local healthcare access in Southeast Kansas. SEK MHC is shifting focus to behavioral health, partnering with NMRMC to ensure continuity of care. No immediate changes are planned. Patients should continue care as usual. Both organizations remain committed to collaboration, quality care, and community health. Medical schools are increasingly turning to artificial intelligence to train future doctors. Kamal Afzali shows us one university that's using avatars to teach herbal remedies and mannequins that simulate patients in an emergency room.
I am Dr. Layla, a specialist in medicinal plants.
These students are learning about traditional medicine, but the way they're learning is anything but traditional.
Can you tell me again what are the consequences? Dizziness, nausea. There are several types with Ceylon cinnamon.
Dr. Layla is one of a number of AI-powered systems developed in-house at Dubai Medical University.
Commonly used in traditional medicine and cooking. Its seeds and leaves are both utilized.
Can I ask you about vinegar?
The knowledge used to train Dr. Layla comes from the university's own textbooks, substituting both those textbooks and the need for a teacher.
So the students enjoy the fact that rather than going to the textbook or spending hours doing their research, they can come and consult Dr. Layla, and Dr. Layla's knowledge is all controlled and verified here in the university.
This school's push to harness AI extends from its greenhouse to its emergency room, where the stakes are high.
My head is pounding and throbbing.
He's unconscious. Andrew, we're gonna take you to get an x-ray done now.
Now we're being put in a real life scenario. We have to act as real life doctors. We need to know exactly what we're doing without making a single mistake in front of the patient.
Andrew, like all AI systems, can make mistakes.
There are risks of hallucination, as all artificial intelligence systems have, but we are more controlling it in this sense.
Any shortcomings of AI hasn't slowed its adoption at this university.
Some studies suggest it may help manage blood sugar levels.
For now, it's transforming the student experience. Kamal Afzali, CBS News, London.
Researchers say their testing shows AI technologies can cut down teaching time by up to 30%. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, Baxter Springs hosts a ceremony to honor cancer survivors.
And Mother Nature bringing us more warm weather. Still a bit breezy out there later today. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, Fort Scott's Gun Park is restocked with hundreds of trout.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Friday, finally Friday, here in the 4 states, February the 6th. And again, we started yesterday on a nice downhill run into the weekend with pleasant temperatures. No, it was breezy yesterday, but still, that did not put a damper on the day in the slightest, I don't think.
No, it was a beautiful day, and I know we're going to have a beautiful weekend.
I did not wear my coat home. Now, I wore it again this morning because I saw it was a little chilly. You guys know, if it's like less than 60 degrees, I get a little cool. Okay, that's not entirely true because it was less than 60 degrees yesterday. I certainly did not need the coat.
I think it's the matter of perception of being like, it is so much warmer than it has been that it's great.
And I think I've mentioned this before. There's you get into like the 50s, the 40s, 50s, and 60s. There's like a warm 50s and 60s, and there's a cool 50s and 60s. And it's all about perception. It's about whatever was preceding either of those. And you guys know what I'm talking about. Like there's that warm 50, but then there's a cool 50 as well. Just depends on where we were before that. And today, another nice mild day. We're going to start with our live look, though, from downtown Pittsburgh. And things are looking fantastic in downtown Pittsburgh because the skies are clear out there. And they are going to continue to remain clear throughout today. You could get a cloud or two, but I think for the most part, we're looking pretty good. Westco camera, 7th and Rangeline, are still some of those snow piles. And there's still like this much snow in my front lawn, like all in one spot, just one little thing. Because our middle child, Colt, he made a gigantic pile of snow so he could jump off the porch and into it. So that's part of why it's still sticking around. But it's going to be gone before too much longer. KDOT camera 69 just north of Baxter looks good so far as well. And our final stop, the MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline, also looking just fine this morning. Our temperatures around the region look like this. We've got some 30s, we've got some 40s. Now, we are a little cooler. We've got Neodesha, Parsons, both at 30 degrees. Those are the two colder spots. But then you get these 41s, Joplin, Carthage, Monette, Cassville. So all of us, though, still warmer than where we were yesterday and above average, as we should be, like I said, mid-upper 20s for those lows. As we head through the morning, the winds will pick back up out of the north, and like yesterday, they'll be gusting about to 25, so it'll be just as breezy as yesterday. It's just a different direction. And again, our far northeastern counties, you see where there's a couple of clouds. That's really about it. There's nothing else on this future track this morning. Kids heading out there, we're looking at the upper 30s, upper 50s by lunch and recess, pushing close to 60 in February as they head home. We're looking at the mid 40s by 9, upper 50s by noon, and like I said, upper 50s, some low 60s for highs out there. North winds again gusting to 25. The warm weather will continue at least through a good portion of next week, and then rain chances come in. Temperatures drop back a bit. We'll go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. The Lions Club in Baxter Springs is hosting a luminaria ceremony to honor cancer survivors and families who have lost loved ones to the disease. Donors to Ronald McDonald House will receive a white bag to decorate and a teen light candle to honor those currently battling cancer. Participants can also walk laps around the gym to pay tribute to their family members and support the cause.
We're going to line that gymnasium with all these decorated, beautiful bags, and then people can walk or they can sit on the bleachers and they can just remember their loved ones. Maybe it's someone that's passed away from cancer, or maybe it's just someone that's passed away, or maybe it's just someone they just want to remember because they're going through hard times right now.
The event starts at 1 p.m. this Saturday at Baxter Springs High School. Well, early voting is underway for the Miami school bond election. The Miami Public School District is asking voters to approve a $15.7 million bond issue for safety improvements and facility upgrades. The bond would build a new lower elementary school at the current Will Rogers Middle School site, make significant upgrades to Nichols Upper Elementary, and renovate the Miami Innovation Center. There would be no projected tax increase. Voters can go to the community room at the courthouse annex again today to vote from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. Election day is next Tuesday. Polls open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Well, winter fishing season is underway in Kansas. Conservationists spent the afternoon at Gunn Park in Fort Scott restocking Fern Lake with about 600 rainbow trout. They slid the fish down a chute into the water. It's part of a statewide effort to stock more than 30 bodies of water across Kansas. All fish stocked are a catchable size, with a few lunkers to give anglers the opportunity to catch a trophy. Despite yesterday's warm temps, the lake's frozen conditions did create a unique challenge for the restocking effort. Well, Joplin will soon join the international community thanks to its bike park. Joplin's Momentum Bike Park joins cycling communities around the world, including Sydney, Australia, Valence, France, Sheffield, England, and Yantai City, China, as hosts for the 2026 Velo Solutions UCI Pump Track Qualifiers events. Pump Track is a fast-paced head-to-head race which requires riders to navigate the track without pedaling. Joplin will serve as only one of 4 U.S. communities to host these events. Qualifiers take place in Joplin August 15th and 16th. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, new tax breaks could put thousands more in your refund. In Consumer Watch, the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is investigating Nike over allegations that white workers were discriminated against due to the company's diversity, equity, and inclusion targets and programs. In a court filing, the EEOC claims Nike may have engaged in a, quote, pattern or practice of disparate treatment against white employees, applicants, and training program participants with respect to hiring, promotion, workplace development, and layoffs. A Nike spokesperson called the probe a, quote, surprising and unusual escalation after already providing data to the EEOC. Nike also says it is, quote, committed to fair and lawful employment practices. Well, most of the changes in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act took effect January 1st, but many of them could impact your 2025 tax return. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger looks at what you need to know as you get ready to file.
Tax season is officially underway, and the IRS is now accepting and processing returns for 2025. You have until April 15th to file, but you may want to get a head start this year because several new credits and deductions could put more money back in your pocket. The IRS is highlighting 4 major changes: a $6,000 bonus deduction for seniors, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on car loan interest. Taxpayers claiming these breaks should use Schedule 1A. Just keep in mind, the benefits are income tested and capped, depending on how much you earn. Along with a larger standard deduction, these changes could boost refunds. Last year, the average refund was about $3,100, and that number could climb depending on your situation. The IRS says the fastest way to get your money is to file electronically and choose direct deposit. If there are no issues, most refunds arrive within about 21 days. In New York, I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
That's it for Consumer Watch this morning, and now to Chris with a quick look at your forecast. A familiar favorite will soon disappear from the frozen foods aisle. Details in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. Workers at one of the largest beef packing plants in the world are poised to go on strike. Now, it's reported 99% of union workers at the JBS plant in Greeley, Colorado have voted to strike. The workers alleged illegal conduct inside the plant and at the bargaining table. If the walkout happens, it would be the first in the plant's history. JBS saying in a statement that the company has negotiated in good faith, including offering meaningful wage increases along with a pension plan. Now, the union represents 3,800 workers at that plant. Contract negotiations have been going on for 8 months. The FDA says it's making it easier for companies to claim products contain no artificial colors. It said products with natural dyes can now be labeled as having no artificial colors. The agency also approving beetroot red as a new color option, along with expanded use of spirulina extract, an existing color additive derived from a natural source. And after 80 years, Minute Maid said it will stop selling its frozen juice concentrates here in the U.S. and Canada. Coca-Cola, which owns Minute Maid, saying the company wants to focus on fresh juices it says customers now prefer. Vacuum Foods introduced Minute Maid back in 1946, becoming the first company to ship frozen juice across the country. It eventually changed its name to Minute Maid. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agday.com.
Now let's take it over to Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
We've got a pretty decent day lined up for us out there. We're going to have a couple of clouds are possible in our far northern counties. That's all that is showing up on Future Track for today. The rest of us, we're talking clear skies. We're still going to have gusty winds. It's just this time they're out of the north instead of the southwest. And our temperature's a little warmer today, maybe a lot warmer for some of you. Now, as we go overnight, we'll start going partly cloudy after midnight. And like yesterday, by late evening, the winds will ease up. They will transition out of the northeast. And as we go through the day on Saturday, they will gradually make a transition out of the south. Now, we're looking at partly cloudy skies for Saturday, but there could be moments in which you might briefly go mostly cloudy. But as you can see, that it's just a little cloud layer that passes right on through. Nothing associated with it. We get the south winds, not expected to be gusty at this point. Another really nice day. Sunday also shaping up to be pretty nice. We're looking at maybe going mostly cloudy in the first portion of the day. There could be some clearing by the late evening, but then those clouds will begin to return overnight as we head into our Monday. Now, we talked about some rain chances yesterday. Well, I just looked up there and this is... Wow, I apologize. My tie just looks awful. It looks awful right now. I'll have to get that fixed. What we've got is that storm system next week that was looking to bring us rain Monday through Thursday. It looks to be a day behind now. And that's why our cloud cover that we're talking about between today, tomorrow, and Sunday isn't exactly jiving with what we discussed yesterday, simply because the whole system's delayed a day. So that system is what will impact our cloud cover, even when there's not rain. So that's why the clouds are a little out of place compared to what we talked about yesterday, simply because that system is now delayed by a day. So those mostly cloudy skies that we were expecting Saturday during the day are now on Sunday, which is why it also clears out late in the day before clouds will return late Monday again. For today, though, looks nice. Upper 30s to start, mid 50s by 11 a.m. And our highs today, upper 50s, some low 60s across the region, so a very nice warm day. Like I said, the winds, just like yesterday, 5 to 15, gusting to 25. It's just now they'll be out of the north instead of the southwest. As we head into the evening hours, skies will still be clear through the evening. We're down to the low 40s by 10. And because we're only going partly cloudy and this will take place after midnight, we will get a little colder tonight. Still technically above normal, but colder than where we were last night into this morning, as we've shown you. Most of us are in the upper 30s and some low 40s out there. Not quite the same tomorrow. Tonight, a little colder. Northeast winds 5 to 10. South winds 5 to 10 tomorrow. We'll go into the upper 50s again. Mid 60s for us on Sunday. Now, because this system is also delayed by a day, it gives us a little more of a warming period. And so we're looking at upper 60s and, yes, even some low 70s as we head into Monday. Now, we could get a sprinkle or two late in the day. But again, it's looking more likely the system arrives Tuesday and brings us rain now through Friday. So it's still kind of a 4-day event. It's just a day behind. We stay above normal through at least Thursday. And then by Friday and Valentine's Day, we do get a little chillier, but seasonably cooler into the mid to upper 40s, right where we should be. We're looking at the mid 50s on Sunday. So Valentine's Day, you'll want the jacket, but it should still be a pretty decent day. And between here and there, I mean, this is more like late March, early April weather in some cases. And we do need some rain. Hopefully these rain chances will go up a bit next week, as we could certainly use some extra rain here in the 4 states. That is a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Samantha now with sports.
Thanks, Chris. Today in sports, Macaulay Catholic opens the Warrior Classic with a strong fourth quarter push against Exeter. Connor Taffner extends a 2-point lead with a bucket in the one-on-one, and then Gavin Anderson takes over inside. Scoring multiple times in the post to build a comfortable advantage, the Warriors control the final minutes on their home floor and pull away for a 53-36 win. Sarcoxy takes the floor against the Lighthouse Christian in Game 2 of the Thursday slate. The Bears get early production from Tyler Lambeth, Hunter Whitledge, and Riley Barreras, connecting on mid-range jumpers and points in the paint. But Lighthouse Christian pulls away as the game goes on, and the Chargers hand Sarcoxy a 57-38 loss. The New Heights Cougars face Thomas Jefferson with a spot in the title game on the line. Cannon Miller, Ben Schmacher, and Nolan Stanton face the Cougars with mid-range shooting, fast break points, and outside shooting to build the lead. New Heights pulls away for a 67-54 win and advances to the championship game. In Galena, the Bulldogs hosted Northeast in girls action. The Vikings opened on a 7-0 run behind early three-point shooting, but Galena answered in the second quarter with an 8-0 spurt sparked by Madison Boyes and Morgan Strong in transition. Northeast took control after halftime and closed it out, defeating Galena 36-25. In Galena, the Bulldogs boys looked to bounce back against Northeast. The Vikings briefly took the lead behind outside shooting from Connor Hill, but Galena answered with drives to the basket from freshman Drayden Watson and a buzzer-beater 3 from Jet Gazelle to seize control. The Bulldogs pulled away in the second half and defeated Northeast 55-30. In Cherokee, Southeast hosted Uniontown in girls action. The Lancers got going early with Kendall Wren pushing the break and finding Zakiah Dickinson in transition. But the Eagles answered with crisp perimeter passing, including a 3 from Ella Shelton. Despite Southeast working it back inside to Dickinson, Uniontown had held on for the 35-30 road win. The Southeast Lancers boys teams capped the night in Cherokee with a 43-37 win over Uniontown. Senior Zane Gabner set the tone early, driving through contact for a strong finish at the rim, while Tyler Warner fed Garrett Berger inside to extend the Lancers' lead. Uniontown answered late in the first quarter with Cole Harris scoring through traffic. The Southeast held control down to the stretch to secure their second straight victory. That's it for sports. We'll be right back. Fifth graders at the Carthage Intermediate Center are marching to the beat of their own drum, turning learning into a parade using creativity to bring figurative language to life. The project, led by a second grade teacher, challenged students to dress as literal representation of common idioms, thus turning phrases into costumes such as class clown, under the weather, and hitting the books. The activity ties directly into classroom lessons on idioms while also helping students practice presentation, listening, and communication skills.
So I like to, not blindside kids in presenting to audience. And use some fun activities to kind of like break the ice when it comes to being in front of people and presenting something that you worked on. So we also grade some speaking and listening skills, so students need to have some practice in being able to feel comfortable with an audience asking questions.
Students were judged on how clearly their costumes represented each phrase, with top entries earning various prizes they can choose from.
That's certainly a fun way to learn, I think. I mean, we had some cool stuff when I was growing up, but that's a fun way to learn about things that can be a little difficult to explain. So sometimes you can show it instead.
And who doesn't want to dress like they're under the weather?
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
Oh, it's always fun. But you will not be under the weather today. If you're feeling ill, I apologize. I can't help that. But if you're not, the weather looking great. Clear skies out there, upper 30s to start, right around the mid 50s by 11 a.m. And that always sucks too, when you're not feeling well on a really nice day, and then you start feeling better when it gets rainy or cold or snowy or whatever. We're going to go into the upper 50s today, low 60s across parts of the area as well. North winds this time, 5 to 15, gusting to 25. As we head through the evening hours, skies are still clear, down to the low 40s by 10. It will be a little colder tonight because between staying clear for a while, go partly cloudy after midnight, does allow us to lose some of the heating. We'll drop back down around 30 with those northeast winds at around 5 to 10. Winds gradually shifting out of the south tomorrow. Still about 5 to 10. A few clouds here and there, partly cloudy. Upper 50s, mid 60s on Sunday. We'll have some mostly cloudy skies. They'll clear out again. Clouds will return on Monday because, again, our rain has been delayed by a day. So upper 60s, low 70s Monday. Staying above average through Thursday, near normal for Valentine's Day, and rain chances Tuesday through Friday. That's checking your forecast. Another hour of the KOAM Morning News up next.